kind of new to Flosstube, but I'm excited to do these. I'm going to keep this one short again, partly because I don't think this phone will upload videos longer than like 10 or 15 minutes. So if it does get cut off suddenly, if there's an abrupt ending, you know why. It's probably because I wasn't able to upload a longer video to YouTube. But let's see, today I wanted to show you the same whip that I showed last time, but with a little more progress, a little bit of haul, and I think I wanted to start with the Know Your Needle Worker tag. Since this is just my second video, I can tell you a little bit more about myself. So I have the questions down here. I will be looking down and then answering them. So the first question is, where do you live? I live in Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes. I grew up here, went to college in Ohio, and then came back to Minnesota. It is cold in the winter, but it's actually a really nice place to live. Second question, what do you do for a living? I am a consultant. I work for a large consulting firm that does mostly benefits consulting to large companies. Do you have any children? I do have 3 boys. Our oldest is in 1st grade. He's turning 7 just in a week or so. Middle is almost 4. He'll be 4 in October, and our youngest is 2. And the reason I can do this video right now while I have 3 boys is because my husband just left for the gym with all 3 of them, which is great. I get a couple hours to myself. It's magical. And right before they left, all 3 of them were crying. Our oldest hit his hand on something and was crying about that. Our youngest woke up from a nap on the wrong side of the bed. And I think our middle one was just crying because the other 2 were. So it's very quiet in the house right now, and it's nice, and I'm happy to have this chance to record this. Do you have any pets? We do not have any pets. Pets are wonderful. I think we would probably have cats. It seems like a lot of Flosstubers have cats, but my husband and my oldest son are allergic, so no cats, no pets. What are your other hobbies besides stitching? Not a lot. So I work full time. I have 3 little kids. I don't have a lot of hobbies. I am really into coaching, so I'm actually in a coaching program, like life coaching, personal coaching. I'm in a program right now for that I really like, and I'm going to mention a little bit more about that when we get to my favorite book, because that's related. What is your favorite movie? I don't watch a lot of movies, so I had to think about this one, but probably Bridget Jones's Diary. That's probably the one that I've watched the most times. I like Colin Firth in his reindeer jumper at the turkey curry buffet. It's a good movie. I like it. Favorite TV show? Does Flosstube count as a TV show? That would be my pick. I don't watch a lot of TV either. I watch YouTube stuff, random stuff. Favorite book? So my favorite book is related to the coaching program I'm doing. It's called Self-Coaching 101 by Brooke Castillo. If I can figure out the description thing or have time to do that, I'll put a link in the description below. But it's just really a book about working on your mindset to help you have a better life, whether it's better relationships, changing bad habits, feeling happier. It's a good book. I recommend it. She has podcasts too, which is really good. So yeah, I'll try to put a link below. What is your favorite music? This is a tough one. So I actually majored in music in college. I played cello very seriously during high school and college, so I like classical music. I like folk music. I like bluegrass, like Alison Krauss. I like pop. I'll listen to pretty much whatever, although it's usually my husband that has it playing. I don't often just put on music when I'm on my own. Last question, what one word best describes you? That's a really difficult question. I would say probably sensitive in both a good way and a bad way. I am sensitive to other people's thoughts and feelings, and I think I'm perceptive. I'm also sensitive in terms of probably being a little bit overly sensitive at times and reading too much into things that I should take for what they are and not read into them. So we'll go with sensitive for my word. All right, so that's the Know Your Needlework tag. And now we can move on to the cross stitch. So let's see, I do have a finish first. It's not something I finished this week, but something I finished earlier this summer. It's in the process of being turned into a fully finished object, and here it is. This is a pattern from Knit Sew Make on Etsy. It's two very cute little elephants, and the original pattern said Be My Elephant, but I changed it to Benny Elephant because it's for my middle child, whose name is Ben, and who loves elephants. So yeah, so Benny Elephant, that's really cute. His favorite color is red, which is why one of the elephants is red. And we're working on finishing it. I say we because my husband is pretty creative too, and so he's actually helping with the I shouldn't say he's helping, he's doing the finishing, which is awesome. I just binge watched like all of the Priscilla and Chelsea Flosstubes this past week. They're really good, and they have really creative ways of finishing things. Their style is much more folksy than mine, but I really like the ideas. So this is on sticky board, and then there's going to be another piece of sticky board with fabric on it, but that part needs to be redone. My husband came up and showed it to me last night, and I was like, well, I told him fabric goes behind the cross stitch, but I wasn't clear about the sticky board going on the fabric too. So right now it's just a piece of fabric. I don't know why I keep saying we, because we are not doing this. He is going to redo that. And there's other plans in the works for this finished object. I hope to have it to show as a fully finished object at some point in the future here. So that's my finished object. So Knit Sew Make is the name of the Etsy store with that pattern. So then I have my whip. And it's in progress. So this is how I have it when I'm working on it. This is something I just started doing this week. I love it. I mentioned that I stitch in hand. So I don't use a hoop or a frame or anything like that. And I realized that I could use these are just old barrettes, hair clips, that I use to kind of roll up one edge of the fabric, and then it was getting kind of bulky, so I also clipped the other side, and it just makes it a lot easier to stitch on, and I'm really happy with how that's working out. So that's my stitchy tip for the day. So let me undo the top clips at least so you can see it. Let me also show you, I have it right here, a picture of the finished project. So this is called Voyage by Satsuma Street. Hopefully you can see that. It's a stylized geometric ship on black Aida. I'm doing it on 14 count Aida. And last time I just had, let me put the needle in here. Last time I just had a little bit done. The video might cut off here if it's only 10 minutes. I'm not going to redo it, so might be bye, but I'm going to keep talking for a few more minutes at least and see if that works. So here is my progress so far. I did have this week off from work, so I got more done than I normally would, but last time I had just kind of this very top center section done, and now I have a lot more. I have all the sails done, and I'm working on just starting the body of the boat, and then there's going to be some wave borders down at the bottom underneath the boat. So I'm really happy with that progress. I love the finished piece and how it looks. I am realizing that as I'm looking at these super bright colors on black fabric that it's kind of overstimulating. So that's part of the reason I have been now covering up an area of it to just stitch in here, because it's like so bright. But I love the finished effect, and I'm excited for what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm thinking it's going to take me maybe a few more weeks to finish. Like I mentioned, I have 3 little kids, full-time jobs, so I don't have a ton of time to stitch, but I'm enjoying it. And so I'm excited to get it done. I'm starting to think about what I might work on next, maybe more on that next time. So last thing I'm going to show is just a wee bit of haul, just a little bit. I think I started showing things last time and wanted to keep it short, so stopped. So update on that. So I mentioned I had gotten some stretcher bars for the first time to try working with some type of frame. I put some fabric on that. This is not a pattern. I am just stitching to try stitching. This is linen, some kind of linen. I'm not sure what kind. And you can see the stretcher bars in the back, and then tacks holding it on. I did not stretch this tight enough or straight enough, but since I'm just trying it out, I didn't remove all of the tacks and redo it. It was just kind of like, these were really cheap. They were like $5 for the set, and I just wanted to try it. So now I've tried it. I don't know if I'm gonna do another project on them or not, but it was interesting to try. So that was the stretcher bars. I also got this Stitcher's lotion. This was an impulse buy. They had it right at, there's a lot of glare. I don't know if you can see that, but they had it right at the counter, so I just picked it up. I get really dry skin in the winter because it is very cold and dry here. And so this is a non-greasy moisturizing cream. So you're supposedly you can put this lotion on and then stitch with it, and it won't get residue on the fabric. I did try it, and it seems like it does seem very non-greasy, so I would feel comfortable stitching with it. So yeah, cute little bottle. I also got somewhere, I don't know where that other thing is. I also got a scissors, but I don't see where they are, so, oh, here they are. I got this little pair of scissors. I had been using a fingernail clippers to trim my thread just because it was easy, and I have a 2-year-old around. It seemed less dangerous than a scissors, but these are another impulse buy. They were right at the counter while I was paying. They are really good scissors. They are super sharp, and I do get nervous that I'm going to forget and leave them out while my 2-year-old is around, because he has kind of like a homing sense for dangerous objects. So I'm undecided on these scissors yet, but they do work really well. It's really just the 2-year-old factor that's making me a little nervous. And then the last thing, I got 2 colors of over-dyed threads. I've been working mostly in DMC. Quite a number of years ago, probably 10 years ago, I had a big phase of doing punch needle embroidery. Maybe I'll show some of that sometime. And I used a lot of over-dyed threads for that. It gets pretty pricey. I've been using DMC for my cross stitch so far, but I just thought it would be fun to pick up a couple. So these are both Weeks Dye Works. That's pretty accurate color. This is Bethlehem. It's part of a holiday collection. And then this, which I haven't tried any of yet, this is Blackberry. It's like a deep mulberry color.